Bomba!
Welcome to Bomba Live, the show you've been waiting for. This is your host, Drake Collazo. Subscribe to Bomba Live on YouTube or anywhere you can download a podcast so you don't miss 1 second of these insightful and provocative conversations con Bomba. Today, I'm talking to you from the top of Philadelphia at the iconic Pyramid Club here with our friends at SBX Productions. Much respect to our producer, Taylor, in the background. And I'm here. I cannot be at the Pyramid Club and on Bomba Live without one of my fierce co-hosts, my co-host for today, mental health advocate and a true Caguena, Sulaih Picorelli. ¿Cómo estás, Sulaih?
I am excellent. Súper contenta de estar compartiendo contigo. I've got my kids in the audience today.
That's right.
And really excited to be here for this conversation.
See, I wanted to make sure we shouted out ella Caguena de verdad because
Caguena,
that's one of the
sí.
3 towns I claim in Puerto Rico. Of course, my mother's from Orocovis, so Orocovis town, Cacique. My dad was born in Humacao. That's my grandmother's side. But Don Rafa, mi abuelo, was born and raised, and, you know, got to represent for Caguas. So break people down on Caguas.
Yeah.
Your Caguena roots, Sulaih.
Bueno, we have to say that I was born in Caguas in the 80s, en el regional de Caguas.
There you go.
And although my family's from Agua Buenas,
Okay.
when we relocated from the States to Puerto Rico, Caguas is where we decided to live. So from 98 to 2006,
And then you went to where'd you go to high school there?
I went to La Gautier Benitez
My
in
grandfather
Caguas.
went to Gautier Benitez.
Yeah,
Yeah.
en noveno, because you know that high school in Puerto Rico is from 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Yes.
So imagine my surprise arriving to 9th grade, excited for high school to be
Oh,
put.
todavía with the lo chiquito. That's
Yeah.
That's
And
a
that's
shame.
exactly. So for to finish middle school, I went to La Selle Sola,
Okay.
right around the corner from La Gautier.
Uh-huh.
Lived in Caguas Tower, if you're familiar with.
Sure. I know
the
exactly what
building
you're talking
right
about.
off
Yeah.
in La Dejeto, and living those final years before moving here in Jardines.
I'm very proud of my Caguas roots. Much respect to Patricia Guadalupe, who's a very prominent journalist. And online a few years ago, we figured out that her mother, her grandmother, and my grandfather went to high school together and knew our families from the old days. And, you know, it's also big with my sports art. My buddy Taylor here at SBX Productions. So Caguas is a great sports city.
It
My
is.
grandfather grew up across the street from the Criollos baseball stadium. That's where that produced some legendary players. The Cora brothers, Francisco Lindor, the boxer, Miguel Cotto, are all Cagueños. So, you know, Caguas is a sporty town. Our basketball team from Bass and from Humacao is relocating to Caguas.
Are they really?
Yes.
What's
So-
the reasoning? Do you
I don't
know?
I guess it's a bigger town. I don't know. So Los Grises are going to become Los Criollos. So I'm covered either way. So I keep my team, which is nice in
Wow.
the Bass end. So much respect to my hoop guys. So Sulaih, I'm in like this tropical mode and thinking about the island because y'all just came
We
back from
are.
vacation.
We did.
So why don't you sum up for people this fab vacation y'all just had?
Oh man, it was wonderful, Ray. You know, we really certainly did have what I like to call a touristy vacation back home. And one of the things that really excites me is embarking on travel with my family. I know you enjoy that as well. And just recently, like you mentioned, we wrapped up 9 days in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, well, either.
Yeah, as tourists this time around, we got to experience the island from a whole new perspective. And the thing is that over the 8 years that I lived in Puerto Rico from 98 to 2006, I traveled a lot throughout the island, you know, singing and with my ministry and doing all of that. But I didn't really have a chance to see the island. And now that we get to go back as adults and bring our children with us to showcase it and really enjoy it, the 4 of us, I can honestly say it was a delightful experience.
I know y'all had you did a lot of good things, but the one thing, why don't you briefly mention, y'all did the trip, which I encourage everyone to do. You went to Culebra, but you did it like baller status, which is nice.
So here's the thing.
See, I'm a ferry guy. I just get on the ferry, but you did it the right way.
No, we love the ferry.
Yes.
We love the ferry, but at this age,
After
you
a
don't
couple
want to have
Dramamines,
all
yeah.
of that. Yeah.
It's
So I was honestly concerned over that. So it was really neat, Ray, because you know, you ask about hiding out in Puerto Rico, and we really wanted everything PR, and that was our quest. So we decided to take a different route and explore off the beaten path destinations. So we started in the West, stayed in Lajas for a couple of nights.
Okay.
We had a chance to have, you know, dinner in San Germán.
I love that part of
walk.
the island, Boquerón and all that.
Yes,
Cabarón,
it's
really nice, yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't get a chance to enjoy it and see
Yeah.
it all. So that was really important to us. We spent 3 nights in
Mhm.
Lajas in that area, and then we made it to Dorado, Fajardo area. And that's where we had a chance to do our excursion on catamaran to Culebra. So we did our snorkeling. The boys had such an amazing time. And I love seeing it too because I get to relive my childhood through them. I don't know if you experience that with your kids. But these hidden gems truly became the essence of our escape, etching memories that I know they're going to remember forever.
Yeah, definitely recommend when people go to the island to get the Culebra. It's just in some of those islands that Sulaih got to visit. The interesting thing is that when we were talking about your vacation and going on your vacation, you hit on a phenomenon that's very common amongst Puerto Ricans and Latinos,
Yeah.
which is a lot of times we have to kind of sneak onto Puerto Rico because we have so much family and we love everybody. But you want to kind of go on
Yeah.
vacation. So how did you successfully hide in Puerto Rico? Because you got a lot of family, your husband, y'all.
We
You could
do.
spend your whole vacation in Titi's house if she let her.
But is that a vacation though? And that's what we thought about. I think that what was helpful for us is that everybody has jobs and everybody works. So nobody has time to stop and,
That's true.
show
That's
you
true.
around.
That's true.
So it was really, really wonderful to be able to do it this way. We did visit with some family, absolutely. But it was more of let's meet here and do something fun together.
Yeah,
And then we all go back to
that's
our
the way to do it.
places. Yeah.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
We can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, but that's true though. But there's always that one relative that like gets mad because then you put something on social media and you're like, oh, you didn't tell
Oh,
me you
no.
were here.
Everything
I have this
on
one
stories.
uncle and I feel so bad and I love him so much. But there's been a few times I've gone to Puerto Rico for like quick work trips and I see like
Uh-huh.
one cousin for one meal.
Y
And,
se enchisman.
yeah, and then it's
Se
like,
enchisman
well, he called
contigo.
on mine and he didn't call me, and then he went to like Blanca and Santurce and he didn't go to Orocovi. So I'm like, well, I didn't really have time to go to Orocovi. So I'm so sorry.
Yes.
But definitely next time.
You're
But
like, en la próxima, en la próxima.
exactly. But you gotta do it.
Isn't
You have to
family
plan it.
funny?
My mom would do it right because my mom comes from a really big family. She's one of 11. So
Uh-huh.
what she would say was we would go to Puerto Rico growing up, she goes, I'm going to be at our parents' Sunday, and whoever shows up, shows up.
Exactly.
You have
Yes.
to bundle.
Yes.
Bundle
yes.
family, bundle love.
Yeah. It was kind of, my mom and my stepdad, they came with us to our trip to Fajardo
Yeah.
or to Culebra. And even, that was really, really beautiful because seeing them enjoy it and we all enjoyed it together,
Yeah.
that was really the experience.
Because most Puerto Ricans never get to Culebra.
They don't.
I've never been to Vieques, which I feel terrible about. I've been to
Well,
Culebra, but
Culebra.
no, yeah, well, Culebra, yeah. But that's what I'm saying. So, no, definitely recommend Culebra. The other thing is, so now we're all back from a vacation in July.
Yeah.
And we're getting ready for the school year.
I
I know all of our
know.
boys, we both have 2 boys. I know they're all 4 of them are so
You
excited.
are a boy
Yeah.
dad.
They're
Isn't that
I
the
know they're all
best?
excited.
I know. Are they excited? I don't know.
They look thrilled.
More or less. Más o
So what
menos.
grades are they going into?
We've got Levi going into 4th grade.
Okay.
And then our older son, Jeremiah, who you see is huge,
Yeah,
but
they
is
talk
only
it.
going to 10th grade.
He's going
10th
to 10th.
grade.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry.
So my oldest, Troy's going to 9th, and Max is going to 7th.
Okay.
So, and Troy's all nervous because it's a new
yeah.
school. And,
The cool haircut,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The cool bag. Is he wearing cologne?
No.
Not
no,
yet.
We haven't gotten
Not
there.
yet.
He's got a girlfriend, though.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
and they're in the same
precocious,
school,
our
but
boy.
they're in different programs. So they're
Uh-huh.
going to be at the same school, but they're not. He was all upset because they don't even have like lunch together. So there's all these dynamics. But he is it's funny because he's a fashionable guy,
Is he?
but his school has uniforms and he actually likes it
Mhm.
because it puts less pressure on him.
That's true. I like the uniform situation because we don't have to plan outfits
Yeah.
for the week.
It's a lot.
And we can just do a load of laundry on the weekend and everybody has what they need.
How do you feel as a mother when the school year starts? Are you happy they're out the house?
No,
You
No.
go through a little bit of a transition,
I
right?
do. And I hate seeing all of the stuff at the store for back to school. That makes me so anxious.
Yeah.
It's like because you just want to enjoy your your summer break and your time off, and it's definitely one of the things that causes the most anxiety for us. I know that some parents, they celebrate that the kids are going back to school, but like I said,
That's the way I put it.
it really does feel like a healing experience for
Yeah.
me to be able to enjoy my children's childhood with them. And my husband feels the same
Yeah.
way. So we
My
make sure that
boys, yeah,
hasta el último momento, le
that's a
sacamos
good
el
attitude to
jugo
have.
y
Yeah.
le exprimimos la
You
cáscara.
do
Have
have
you
to
heard that?
maximize you do have to maximize the summer days. There's no doubt about it.
And the truth is,
Yeah.
Ray,
And I
that
like
when
the
these
summer.
kids hit 18, they're all, they're busy. They get
Yeah,
busy with their own
that's true.
lives. And what
Oh
are,
yeah, you never regret spending the extra time. There's no
no,
doubt
no,
about it.
no,
There's no
no.
doubt about it. And you got to be
I
creative,
got
and
2 years left with that one.
that's true. Yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
Yeah.
We're
So
gonna
that's the kind of mom I am.
good for you. Yeah, my wife she's happy because she loves the fall and she loves Halloween. So when she sees the Halloween stuff,
Yeah.
she gets very excited. So and I'm like, oh, whatever.
Halloween is fun
Yeah,
too.
Eagles are cool. Phillies playoffs, but the rest of it is whatever. I like
Mhm.
warm weather. We're gonna take a quick break. We're actually gonna hear Sulaih from two iconic Puerto Rican musical artists, one of which is one of our collaborators here on Bomba Live.
Yeah.
And when we come back, you're gonna actually lead us in our Esperanza
Yes.
segment to talk about an issue that's very close to your heart, mental health, and how we help as a mental health advocate.
Beautiful.
Thank you for watching Bomba Live, the show you've been waiting for. Can we have the Ricky Martin picture? We gotta show it. Come on, fam. We gotta show it. All right, Dios mío, look at that. Come on. Ricky and Betty, tell us this story, my friend.
Ricky Martin, Ruben. Actually, Sweet Sensation was on tour with Menudo for a minute. Cover Girls were on tour. It was Cover Girls, Sweet Sensation, Menudo at the time. This is right before Ricky left the group. That's Ruben right next to him, I believe. Yeah. So, yeah, we had so much fun being on tour with Menudo. Now, meanwhile, talk about surreal. I was 14 years old with my best friend from across the street, Sonia, scoping out all the hotels that Menudo was in because I was a big Menudo fan. I love Menudo. I still love Menudo. I can sit here and be like, Súbete a mi moto. I know all the songs. I have belt buckles and I have the jackets, and I loved Miguel from Menudo was my favorite until I fell in love with Johnny. So I know all about the Menudo stuff.
Welcome back to Bomba Live, the show you've been waiting for. On today's Esperanza segment, we're going to talk about a topic that is often silenced in Latino culture, and that is mental health.
Sulaih, we're really glad that you're elevating this issue on the show as part of the Bomba Life community. This is something that comes up a lot.
Yeah.
So, and we get a real strong reaction when we discuss mental health. So, let's begin here, Sulaih, so people the new Bomba Life community, which we really appreciate, gets to know you. Where did your mental health advocacy journey begin?
Well, Ray, I really love that you're asking this question because what people don't know about me is that I have been an advocate for hidden disabilities from a very young age. My mother was born with epilepsy, so I grew up aiding and assisting a little bit in helping her live her life with epilepsy. And I grew up with a special sensibility for people who needed that kind of support. So the journey toward mental health work and advocacy just kind of came natural. And I'm so lucky to have the Latino Behavioral Health Coalition there. They're here in Philadelphia, but there, as board secretary and executive liaison, I became deeply involved in organizing events for awareness around mental health and behavioral health.
We talk a lot in our communities, Sulaih, about how mental health needs a lot more acceptance and prominence within the Latino community. And so can you share around what are some of the dynamics where we can better promote mental health within our community that makes it sort of distinct and maybe more challenging than other places?
Yeah, and that's a really, really important question too, Ray. I think that we've talked in the past that Philadelphia has a unique experience in that they were able to provide a service in a culturally sensitive environment. What sets mental health efforts apart within our community in Philadelphia is a profound cultural sensibility that is infused in every aspect of care. And that's something that, you don't necessarily see everywhere in the US. So it's really important to highlight providers who have these services and who have access to help people in need. And all you have to do is really just call somebody, ask for help.
There's, kind of the obvious need for bicultural services, right? Like, first of all, in language, not a
Yeah.
small thing.
Yeah.
there's kind of the cultural cues around some of the traumas that we oftentimes we leave our homelands due to some of those traumas, whether it's political upheaval or economic issues or just drama that's happening back home. And it's really important that this segment is so fundamental, I think, to the show's mission, because in my political work, I often found, and I still find, that people are apprehensive to get more engaged as leaders or even just to their interest of voting, because they feel like in their life they don't have power
Yeah.
and they can't make a difference. And a lot of that is like, there's only so much I can do about that through political organizing. And a lot of it is people having the tools to address some of the traumas they've had in their lives.
Yeah, and I don't know if you realize this, but in Puerto Rico, a lot of elderly people mainly are suffering from not having access to services and providers, because all of the providers, most of them are leaving. And then the ones that are left, it's a big it's a lot of work for not enough people. It's also encouraging because we get to have these conversations and maybe give an idea or provide a platform for people to have those conversations, and how do we make things better for our folks here.
Yeah, we have to continue to definitely elevate that specific issue about just health services in general on the island.
Yeah.
A lot of those, not just the displacement of our medical infrastructure is dissipating on the island, but there was obviously trauma related to Hurricane Maria and some of these other natural disasters and issues. If your lights go off every couple months for a few days, that's traumatic. And that's something that we have to continue to highlight, the intersectionality of those issues. Yeah, the other thing I wanted to shout out, well, there's a lot of friends of ours that are involved in this, but in particular, Charles De Leon is a local advocate that we want to have on the show with you, Sulaih, because he has written a book around some of the traumatic experiences that happened to him and how he's addressed his mental health challenges from that.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times Latino guys, don't have a lot of outlets where they feel like they can get support for their mental health challenges. So we want to in particular highlight those issues. I know that, look, I mean, on some level, Bomba Live is a mental health exercise for me because, I have this struggle with the fact that there's no way I'm not going to do it because I feel so passionately about it.
Yeah.
Because I know we have a platform and a group of people with our network that have so much to share. But at the same time, it's been hard, and you've been doing it, in this case, I've been doing it 10 years. You don't feel like, I still go through these moments where it's like, who cares? Nobody watches. I don't have these big numbers. I see all these people with less quality of show getting awards or getting, having all these platforms. So, but I have to, so the show is kind of therapeutic in a way, because then when we have these kind of conversations, it affirms to me, and no doubt someone will reach out to us after this conversation to say how it inspired them and how it made them understand the need to it's okay to seek support for the mental health. Sulaih, talk about some of the great work you're doing locally with the coalition, and you have an exciting event coming up where talk about balling out in the Caribbean again. You guys have something that is going to be an exciting. It sounds like a vacation excursion, but it's going to help a lot of people.
I wish it's a vacation excursion, but I'm really, really thrilled to share about our significant local mental health initiatives that taking a bold step towards becoming a binational effort. So for over 10 years, we've been doing it locally here in Philadelphia, and now we're exploring, or not exploring, it's happening, November 15th and 16th. So this project revolves around the first binational conference for mental health, a groundbreaking event that aims to bridge the gap and address mental health challenges across borders. So the initiative started with a passionate team of dedicated folks, dedicated to promoting mental well-being in our community. As we realize the universal nature of these challenges, we embarked on an ambitious journey to expand our reach beyond local boundaries. So the conference is scheduled for November 15th and 16th, and it is set to take place at the Intercontinental Real Hotel in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic.
Hello.
Yeah, so the vision is that this is going to create a platform for experts, advocates, and individuals to come together and discuss, share insights, and collaborate on innovative solutions to mental health stigma.
So if people are watching from anywhere in the country or hypothetically on the island or the islands, and they're in the mental health, the Latino mental health space, they can participate in this. They're in
We want
Chicago,
you
they're
there.
in Houston, they're in Miami,
Yes.
they're in New York, what have you. This is something that would be relevant to their work.
Yes, and if I may, I invite you to visit lbhcphila.org. All of our information is set on the website, and the agenda is set. We're going to have, do you know Dr. Arthur Evans of the APA, our keynote speaker
Wonderful.
at the event.
Fantastic.
So it's really going to be something special.
Is it going to be content about English and Spanish?
We will have simultaneous translation
Oh, okay.
happening.
Wonderful.
A lot of our presenters will be traveling from Philadelphia, but
Okay.
we also have many presenters from Dominican Republic as well.
Fantastic.
Can't wait.
Shout out Lina Hedman, who's one of our Dominicana mental health experts up in New York City. Maybe we should invite her.
I would love
she's
to
one of the
meet
leaders
her.
of the it's with an M, Montefiore Health System in the Bronx.
Okay.
So she's one of the executives that runs that, and she's been, matter of fact, during COVID, we did a show with her,
Okay.
and it was around some of the mental health stuff. So y'all should invite Lina Hedman. Lina, I'm gonna
I'm
get
gonna
you a
write
hook
that
up
down.
with that invitation. So
Yeah,
no,
perfect.
she has a great network that should be a part of it. So
Oh no, this is wonderful. Thank you.
fantastic.
I can't wait to connect with Lena.
Fantastic. So Sulaih, why don't you we got an audience question that's going to be part of
right.
our found in translation segment.
On today's Found in Translation segment, Ray wanted to respond to a viewer question, and this is coming from Elise Charters, and she asked Ray to share some information about legislative campaigns that would support Latina small business owners. Ray?
Yeah, no, this was Elise, thank you. Elise actually reached out to us on LinkedIn. She saw a recent episode that we broadcast on LinkedIn. So definitely check out my personal LinkedIn page. If you're on LinkedIn, Rafael Rey Collazo. We'll often broadcast some of our shows and give our LinkedIn audience a little sneak peek. But at least that's an excellent question. She said, what kind of policies is the Bomba Life community pushing to support Latina small business owners?
Oh, I can't wait to hear this one.
So Latina small business owners over the last 15 years have almost doubled. And the amount of Latinas that have started small businesses over the last 15 years in this country. You're one of them, Sulaih. You got a couple hustles going on. And so one of the tenets I would encourage people, we're gonna tweet this out and we're gonna share this on social media. My work at Unidos US, we just came out with a report, the Latina lag, making jobs work for Latinas. So there's a couple findings that came out of this study. One is that Latinas are working, very, are growing parts of the labor force, are going to be a big part of labor force's future, particularly in healthcare and some of the sectors that Latinas over-index in. But work is not working for Latinas. So we continually see Latinas being underpaid for the work they're doing. They're not getting a lot of the healthcare and health-related benefits that they should be doing. So paid family medical leave is an issue we're going to continue to harp on because, and we continue to find in our research that to keep Latinas thriving in the workforce, being able to have the time and the resources to be able to go to work, to move up in their careers, get paid equitably, they need programs like paid leave. So if they need to take care of themselves due to a health or a loved one, they have the time and they have the space and they'll have the financial resources to be able to take that time for their loved ones and come back into the workforce. To have savings programs like 401ks, which the majority of Latinas do not get offered at their current jobs, raise the minimum wage for tip workers. A lot of our Latinas work in industries where there's hotels, restaurants, they work, for tips, and they're oftentimes being well underpaid. So I encourage people to follow the work that Unidos US is doing. Again, the Latina lag, making jobs work for Latinas, that provides a deeper analysis of this suite of initiatives that we're supporting. I'm actually going to get on a plane tomorrow because I'm going to Denver, Colorado, and doing a roundtable with Latino leaders in Colorado with Congresswoman Yadira Caravello. She's the first and only Latina medical doctor ever in U.S. Congress.
Wow.
And so she represents part of the Denver metro area. So we're going to be doing a roundtable with her. When she was in the Colorado legislature, she helped get paid leave passed for people in Colorado. So
that's wonderful.
People in Colorado have access to paid leave programs
Because of her.
Because of her leadership, and we fell one vote short in the Senate last time. So we're kind of closer than we feel like we are sometimes. Paid leave is a very would be a game changer for women in the workforce in particular, and particularly Latinas. So, Elise, excellent question, and I encourage Elise and everyone watching to check out Unidos US's report on how we can make jobs work for more Latinas.
On today's Presente segment, Ray is going to provide his review of the smash hit Blue Beetle. This is our Latino superhero, huh?
Yes,
How'd you feel about it?
The Blue Beetle. Now, and I'm not a xenophobe, you know. Much respect to my man David Betancourt, who I want to have on the show. David is writes for the Washington Post about comics and films and all this kind of fantastical stuff. I take my kids to these movies, but I'm not going to say I'm an expert on movies or anything like that. But I will say, from my perspective, first of all, it was a really good movie.
Was it?
I was actually surprised how good a movie it was. Besides all the Latino significance.
Did you guys see it? No. Not
the Latino significance that we'll talk about in a second. But you know, it was like it was a really good story. It was very family oriented. It made you laugh. It made you cry. And I think it just was a really well done film. It wasn't just about the action scenes, which were pretty cool. And so I would just encourage people to understand, like, besides its kind of cultural significance, it was a really good movie. I think the biggest takeaway I got out of it was the cast.
Yeah.
And I think George Lopez.
Wasn't it mostly Latino?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Susan Sarandon's in it, which is kind of interesting, the way she designed her character. It's very channeling Hillary, but which is ironic in a lot of ways. But George Lopez, I think it was one of his best moments. He was so funny in it. He played kind of the quintessential Latino uncle. And, the cast was really excellent. Zoilo Maridueña, I think the young guy he's a leading actor, that guy. That guy's going to be a big star. I want to shout out Belisa Escobedo, who's like the cool sister in the movie.
Okay.
Her father, Efrain Escobedo, is a good friend of mine out in California. So Belisa's doing big things. So the cast, Adriana Barraza was the quintessential abuela. So I think the cast is something that people can walk away from. And I want to shout out this director, Angel Manuel Soto, Boricua. I mean, this is his opus. I mean, this guy has been grinding it out in the film industry as a director and producer for a long time. And he, they really got a lot of things right. There's a lot of, on the Latino piece, there's a lot of issues that impact our community that they inputted into it very subtly around gentrification, healthcare access, college affordability. There's a lot of these kind of subtle, sort of moving up in the workforce, a lot of subtle things that I think are very relatable to Latinos and Latino advocates around the country that Angel sort of infused in the movie in kind of subtle ways that I think could be very relatable to the larger audience, which I think is kind of the point. Latinos tell us in our research, like, we want our stories represented, but we don't want it separate from the larger community. We want to see ourselves centered as part of a larger conversation. So are your kids moviegoers?
They are. I am not. Going to the movies makes me anxious.
Okay.
Sitting still for too many hours. So that's an activity that they do with dad.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. But
that is cool.
What did you guys see recently? Teenage Mutant.
Oh, was it good? One of my sons wants to go. So that's gonna be the next one I saw.
In Puerto Rico.
Oh, that's cool.
They got that experience.
That's cool. Well,
yes.
my name's Raphael. So Teenage
Raphael
came out at lousy timing for me as a teenager because when that came out, that was my name to all the girls. Trying to talk to girls like, oh, you're one of the turtles. It just didn't work for me. It was unbelievable. But,
or where's Donatello, Raphael?
Oh, yeah. Not the move. It came bad timing. So I always had talk about trauma. I always had trauma about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But with my kids, it's fun.
Kids
fun.
are ruthless.
I like the movies. I like the TV shows. So, Sulaih, as we wrap up this edition of Bomba Live, anything else you wanted to share with our audience with your closing thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, if we can go back just a little bit to the whole mental health.
Absolutely.
I just want everybody to know that if you're experiencing a mental health challenge and don't know where to turn, remember that reaching out is a sign of strength, not weakness. Talk to someone you trust, a friend, a family member, a colleague. Sharing your feelings can provide immense relief and support. And you can reach out to any of us on the Bomba Live roster, and we'd happily provide a referral for you.
Absolutely. Definitely. We want to continue to inspire people, provide people hope. And we really want people to get out of this show that you have a community here to support you, whether it's a mental health or promoting your, promoting issues related to culture, whether it's in film or the arts, or, we want to support our people to really live out their dreams. And so many times it's really about just overcoming that trauma. There's that is a part of our community that we sort of just assume is just part of, every third or fourth of us is a local or a loci, and like we sort of just accept it, and we need to challenge ourselves around how can we heal ourselves to live, you know, a higher quality of life. I appreciate the conversation about hiding in Puerto Rico, Sulaih.
Yes.
You know, that is something that, you know, you got to keep. So it's the worst. When you're on vacation and you want to post, oh, look at this. Oh, I don't want to post this because then my uncle down the block's going to know I'm here. So, you know, it happens. It happens. So you escaped. You got out scot-free. So enjoy your the rest of your summers. Enjoy the beginning of the school year with your wonderful children. Thank you so much for joining Bomba Live. Thank you, our homie Taylor here,
Yes,
our
Taylor,
fearless
thank
producer
you.
from SBX Productions. Thank you, our family here at XBS and the Pyramid Club and the Content Club for the show you've been waiting for.